We often imagine that life would be more efficient if we could just strip away the friction of our feelings and operate with the cold precision of a machine. But emotions are far from biological clutter. They function as a high-speed internal warning system and provide the mandatory drive behind every decision we make. When a child touches a hot stove, the brain doesn't just archive a cold fact about temperature. It records a searing memory of pain, ensuring that the mere thought of a burner triggers a protective flash of fear in the future. Without this emotional library, we wouldn't become hyperlogical. We would lose our most effective survival mechanism for learning from the world. If these feelings are such vital survival tools, why do they so often trigger irrational outbursts and regrettable mistakes? The problem is a biological shortcut. Information entering the brain bypasses the rational neocortex and shunts straight to the emotional center. Our thinking brain is overwhelmed. Alarming thoughts take over, leaving no room for logical judgment. In this state, we often rely on obsolete data. The brain may trigger a massive panic response to a minor modern stressor because it looks like a threat we encountered years ago. Left unchecked, we remain reactive, allowing outdated biological reflexes to dictate our present behavior. Navigating this requires emotional intelligence, a neural bridge that allows the thinking brain and the feeling brain to communicate rather than compete. We see the necessity of this connection in the history of the lobotomy. Doctors physically severed the pathways between these two regions. The results were devastating. These patients didn't gain a logical edge. They lost their initiative, their drive to act, and their ability to recognize their own feelings. High performance requires us to manage our emotional engine, because trying to disconnect it only leads to a loss of the self. A key part of this management is self-regulation, the ability of the rational mind to delay an immediate impulse. This was famously tested in the Stanford Marshmallow Challenge, where 4-year-olds had to resist a treat in exchange for a larger reward later. It was a pure test of delaying gratification. Years later, the children who could control their impulses at age 4 were more successful both socially and academically than their peers with similar IQs. These results suggest that the ability to stay focused on a long-term goal despite emotional distractions is a powerful differentiator for success in a way that raw intelligence alone is not. This skill set also extends outward. It acts as a social radar, allowing us to read the subtle nonverbal signs that reveal what another person is actually feeling. By recognizing micro-expressions or shifts in body language, we can step into someone else's shoes and better predict their next move. This empathy is a strategic asset, allowing us to resolve tension and manage teams by understanding the emotional state of the room. While we often prioritize test scores, emotional intelligence is a better predictor of job performance and life satisfaction. There are physical consequences too. Constant emotional stress keeps blood pressure high and weakens the immune system, significantly increasing the risk of illness. On a larger scale, deficits in these skills are linked to rising crime and delinquency, as people struggle to resolve conflicts without violence. Developing these traits early determines whether a community is defined by cooperation or by a cycle of reactive conflict. The research from Daniel Goleman shows that, unlike IQ, our emotional capacity can be expanded and refined at any point in our lives. We can start by practicing a more deliberate inner dialogue. When a situation makes you feel hurt or defensive, try naming the feeling and looking for alternative explanations before reacting. In the middle of a heated dispute, it helps to watch your physical cues. If your heart starts racing, it's a sign that you are becoming too emotional to think clearly and need a brief break to calm down. When giving feedback to others, try to be specific about an incident rather than making broad character judgments, preventing the other person from feeling devalued. Our emotions will always be the engine behind what we do. Building these skills simply ensures that we are the ones doing the steering.